Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Blade Bias for a very spooky episode. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. And I thought that there was no more fitting day of the year to break out the casket of my self-proclaimed worst balisong ever made. The spider knife. You know it. You most likely hate it if you're anything like me. But recently, as you may or may not have seen, I got the opportunity to do something that, what a great start that is. I got the opportunity to do something that is really at the top of my balisong bucket list, kind of the peak of my whole career, if you can call it that, in the balisong hobby. Because I got to join Will and Brandon for a very special episode of their Amazon unboxing series, and I got to try some truly awful stuff. And today I wanted to ask the simple question. Having tried some of that awful stuff, which if you want to know what some of the things that I tried, you can go check out that video on the Will Hurst channel. Huge thank you to Will and Brandon for having me on that. I genuinely don't know how I'm going to top doing that, but we'll figure it out. So, after trying all those, is the spider knife really as bad as I remember it being? This is genuinely my first time flipping my spider knife. I think since the last video that I uploaded on this thing. So that's fun. It still has the For Ethan sticker. How could I get rid of that? So this thing is really bad for a number of reasons. The giant spider on the middle makes it so that you can't do chaplains. Rollovers are difficult. And the whole entire thing is textured with this spider web design. And it's incredibly sharp. It's very sharp. I can feel my hands prickling for minutes after I flip this thing. It really does suck. But does some of the things that we tried on the Amazon unboxing Amazon unboxing video suck more, perhaps? I don't really think so, actually. Let me kick my light on over here. I gotta be honest with you. This is a difficult question to answer, because some of the worst things that we tried on that video didn't really count as balisongs at all. There was the weird razor blade one. There was the weird one that just kind of opened, and the gambling knife, as I called it. And those aren't really balisongs, so those don't really count, even though the razor blade one is genuinely the most fearful I have ever been watching someone hold a balisong, period. Like, I was genuinely afraid to hold that thing, and I was genuinely afraid to see other people hold that thing. I was also genuinely afraid to sit between two people holding that thing. But I just can't describe that as an actual balisong, because you just can't flip it. So, I think the next thing up would have been the weird Jeremy knives that we broke with our bare hands. And I can't really say that those are the worst things that I've ever flipped. Well, I can and I can't. So on one hand, they actually did flip, kind of. They carried momentum. You could do tricks on them. And they weren't the most uncomfortable things that I've ever tried in my life, somehow. Because the spider knife exists, and this is way more uncomfortable. My hands are in physical pain as we speak. But the fact that you could just kind of rip them apart with your bare hands doesn't really inspire much confidence for their flippability to a beginner, or to anyone, really. I really struggle to understand how someone could have that as their daily flipper for any longer than maybe a few weeks, if you're lucky. But on the other hand, the spider knife, while genuinely having a balance that you can do things with, like, trust me when I say that the spider knife, it doesn't fan the worst. Like, this is a moderately decent fan, all things considered. Like, it's a satisfying enough fan for the fact that this thing sucks as much as it does. And, like, I can do tricks on it, but I don't want to do tricks on it because it is just genuinely that uncomfortable. So I have to answer the question, what is better, durability or actually being able to flip the thing? I think, ultimately, I would put the cheap little break apart with your bare hand balisongs higher than this. I genuinely think I would, because ultimately you're paying, what, like $10 for 3 balisongs. So if they break, maybe you get like a month or two out of that pack of 3 total. Versus the spider knife, where maybe you're going to get a day out of this thing before your fingers actually despise you and you just don't want to flip a balisong anymore. So I think I would still, like, if you forced me to recommend one of those things, I think I would still recommend the break in half balisongs over the spider knife. And then everything else that we tried in that Amazon unboxing, well, yeah, I think it's better than the spider knife in almost every way, even the wooden one. Because that thing flipped and it wasn't horrendously uncomfortable. This thing flips and it is horrendously uncomfortable. So even after enduring a fever dream of an entire... even after enduring a fever dream of an entire Amazon unboxing, I still have to say that the spider knife is the worst knife I've ever tried. Maybe not ever tried. But certainly, probably, yeah, the worst knife I've ever tried. But it's certainly the worst knife that I would ever own, even if I went out and I bought some of the things from that Amazon unboxing. So I guess that answers the question. The spider knife is still my least favorite knife of all time. I think that's a better way to put it. Is it the worst knife of all time? Probably not. Is it my least favorite knife of all time? Yeah, probably. There are many. There's literally anything else in this hobby that I would flip over this. The Brandon Butter Balisong homemade thing, even in its current state, after enduring multiple blade shows and having a negative handle gap, I would still flip that thing over this. I hate the spider knife. It sucks. But man, am I glad to own one, because once a year I have to endure myself. I have to endure genuine pain to make a video about it. And then I feel it in my hands for the next year. It always reminds me to be thankful for what I have, because honestly, as I said in the last video, the best thing about the spider knife is flipping it for 10 minutes and then going back and flipping a competent balisong, because you genuinely, regardless of your flipping skill, will feel like a god flipping something that just works in any way, shape, or form. Going from this to this, and the comfort and the balance, it just makes you feel competent. It makes you feel like you can really flip, you know, even though I very obviously can't in this confined space of mine. It's just fun. The spider knife, the best thing about the spider knife is that it makes you appreciate everything else, even those cheap little Amazon balisongs that I unboxed with Will and Brandon. That whole experience was super, super cool. I spent the whole video kind of looking like I wanted my mom to come pick me up, because it was just very overwhelming being in that situation, not really knowing your place, not knowing where to interject or what's going to be funny or what's going to make the video more entertaining or stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. I certainly did. I don't think I'm going to experience anything even close to being in a video from the people that got me into balisongs in the first place, outside of Ty. Like, the people that really got me into balisongs. Ty got me into balisongs. Will and Brandon's videos really got me into balisongs. You know what I mean? So, just super cool stuff. I don't know. If you want to know anything about that experience, leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to respond to them. But I think for now, my fingers have suffered enough. We've answered the question. The spider knife lives another year being the worst balisong that I have tried. It just put a chip in my... Come on, man. It just chipped the bottom of my cheap little Target desk thing. Oh, that's the best way to end this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.